Okay, let's try this again.
True. It's no longer.
Alright, one of you say something.
It's no longer.
H.
Alright, one of you say something.
It's no longer.
H.
Okay, we're good. Okay. Let me get it here. Open this up. Bop. Bang. Get my phone out. Answer some of these questions real quick. Hold on. Now, that's the first time I'm doing this, so a little rusty, you know what I'm saying? I've done podcasts before, but I have not done one in a very long time. Okay, so this is how this works. We're all just gonna get our own opinions, and we'll just let each other speak. I'll go first, if anything. Do you guys want to do Xfinity or Cup first?
Doesn't matter for me.
Griffin,
Doesn't really matter to me.
David. Okay, so let's start. I guess we'll just do Cup first because I don't really know that much about Xfinity except that Zachary Wade's just a beast. So starting out with number one, we're going to talk about Joe Gibbs Racing struggles and if there's any trade options that could happen. As if I pull up the points right now, one of the biggest, they have 3 cars, I believe, outside the top 30 in points, including the rookie of David Dixon. You have Tyler Curley's outside the top 30 in points, and not only that, but Logan Guthrie, who was a star last season, is outside the top 30 in points. Tyler Curley and Logan Guthrie are both on their last contracts, their last year on their contracts. Tyler Curley's been there for 6 seasons. Logan's been there for 3 seasons. So, what really decides, like, if I'm Joe Gibbs Racing and I'm sitting here, like, looking at Tyler Curley's struggle, if we look at the same, Tyler Curley's in the same boat as Jordan Strunk was last season. Jordan Strunk was there for 5 seasons, didn't win any championships, made the playoffs and won a couple races. That's it. And obviously the goal here is to win a championship. And Tyler Curley's overall isn't the worst. And I feel like there's a lot of trades that could happen, even though it is too early to decide that. You know, it's only been 2 races, but again, if, you know, as a team owner, you have to assume some things, and I believe that Tyler Curley's going to struggle for the next couple weeks. Obviously, we don't know anything yet, but, you know, it's, if we look at trade offers, I brought up like a 3-team trade that could go down between JGR, potentially Southern Cross Racing, and SHR. That would throw Jordan Strunk to Southern Cross Racing, would throw Tyler Curley to SHR, and then would throw Harley Stoner to Joe Gibbs. Could work, maybe not. I don't know. It's just gonna come down to like overall, and it's gonna come down to individual ratings. Because Joe Gibbs obviously wants to be a good team, as they were in season, I believe, 2. They were the team of the year. They won the most races as a team. I believe they didn't win the championship, but they had enough guys in the same. I believe all cars made the playoffs that season as well. So, yeah, it's just going to be very interesting to see what happens in the next couple weeks. What do you guys think?
Well, personally, I don't know how it all went down in like season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4. I think we're on season 6 now. Yes, season 6. Obviously, because I just came in season 3, I believe.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna struggle too, seeing how consistent they are. Not really doing that well. Obviously, like you said, they are in like the lower portion of points there. 39th, 38th, 34th. I just don't think they're going to be doing as well as they did in the past couple seasons, obviously. Like I already said, but that's it.
Yeah, I do feel like it's a little too early to make any trade assumptions But again, if it's the last year on Tyler Curley's contract, it's kind of like.
You're expecting something from him.
Plus, they could try to trade. They could trade, or they could also try to move up Tyler Curley because not a lot of team owners ever considered this. Because this rule was made earlier when the bottom series came in. They could make a swap at the halfway point of the season. So race 15, if Tyler Curley still isn't doing well, they can make a swap and put an Xfinity driver that they have up to Cup. So I could see that happening as well, but whatever. What do you think, Griffin? As you own the team too, obviously your team competes against JGR every week. I guess you've noticed how much they've struggled.
Yeah, I remember when they used to be one of the competitors every single week, and they used to run up front. I do think they're going to end up demoting Curly back down to the APS and bringing up one of their APS drivers. It's still early in the season. It's only race 2 that just ended, but it looks like that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, and remember, we haven't gone to a speedway or short track yet, so we still haven't got enough information to judge how fast they'll be on those different kinds of tracks.
Yeah, definitely. That's very true.
And then you got to remember, who's your points leader right now? A Joe Gibbs racing car, Marcus Corbin, now in the 11.
Yeah, he's been very great for that team. He's the only shining right now. And even with David Dixon as well, I mean, even David Dixon, he may be 34th in points, but in testing, I mean, the results never came out. David Dixon finished in the top 10 every single testing for all 3 of them. So, it might be a little too early.
Where were the testing races at again?
They were at Indianapolis, Watkins, and then I believe Martinsville. And those are 3 big tracks because it's a road course, short track, and speedway track. Well, semi-speedway track.
I obviously think, like you said, like it's obviously still way too early in the season where we're already finished race 2. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we finished Abu Dhabi, I believe. Abu Dhabi. Obviously, still way too early because you can see, obviously, like, for example, I'm just going to bring one of the front runners up, Jordan Powell. He can jump all the way down. He could gain up the next 2 races, and then you get Curly, Dixon, and Guthrie just to do really good, and then they're going to be right back up there. So you're obviously not going to expect anything, especially 2 races in from the season.
Yeah, I remember we saw Alton Cooper. He was outside the top 30 in points with no wins last season and came back, made the playoffs, and I believe went all the way to the round of 12. So it is very possible, even in that short amount of races. And then we move on to the Logan side of things. Logan, obviously, if we go back to his story, he came from IndyCar when the IndyCar series was a thing. He finished second in the points to his main rival in this series, Harley Stoner. He moved up to Cup. In his first season, he almost made the playoffs. Was a couple points off. Second season, made it to the round of 8. Almost, literally was like 1 to 2 points off of the final 4. And now we're sitting here with him behind in the top 13 points. Again, like, do you trade him? Do you even consider bringing him back? Because this is the last year on his deal, and with the new overall system that comes into play, it might take you seasons to get him back to the way he was last season. And I don't know if Joe Gibbs... It depends on the situation Joe Gibbs is. Do they want to win now, or do they want to develop? It's kind of how it is.
There's also a lot of rising talent down the Advanced Autopart series that I feel like they could replace him with.
Yeah. Alright, so does that concede the first question there?
Well,
and just one more thing to add with the Marcus Corbin story. Him being top on points this season after 2 races. He is a rookie this season in the Cup Series, and he's already managed to get 2 top 5s in his first 2 starts. We could be seeing a win from him soon.
And he's definitely been one of those drivers that nobody's talked about. I can't believe nobody offered him because, but if you don't remember his first 2 races in Xfinity, first 2 seasons in Xfinity, he grabbed, I believe, 2 wins in the first season, made the playoffs, and in the second season, didn't he? No, he went to the Final Four, but he had 3 wins, and he was one of the most consistent drivers all season long. So that was a huge deal, and now it's paying off for Joe Goose Racing as we wait for the next couple races to go by.
If I was being honest, I would wait till again where the trading system is, halfway point of the season. Obviously, you would want to wait till 10 races or so we have at least one race every single type of track under our belt, not just two, not just one at Daytona, which is obviously a wild card no matter if you're watching real life, no matter what league you're watching, no matter everything else. But that's obviously a wild card. Same as Talladega. Obviously, I believe we have another one of those this season or coming up at least. But obviously, you want to wait till longer in the season. To see what's happening.
And not only that, but Tyler Curley in Instagram DMs and Instagram chat has pretty made it clear that he doesn't want to drive that 20, obviously because of real life stuff, considering the Eric Jones and Bubba Wallace thing, where now Eric Jones drives 43, so he clearly does not want to be there anymore. So, and yeah, again, he just doesn't want to be there anymore. So it's pretty clear that you have I'm saying that they should not make a move now, but consider the options that can come with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that ends the first thing down. We move on to the second thing. We're going to talk about Jordan Powell's consistencies. Consistency is back. Well, I wouldn't say it's completely back after the first 2 races, but we've seen. In my opinion, I think Jordan Powell is the most consistent driver of all time. He's had the most consistent season. I think he's made the playoffs every single season except for 2 or 1. I'm not sure, but he has just been consistent. And even when he struggled last season in the 00, which was a closing down team, he still finished top 20 in the points.
Yeah, Powell, he's made 3 playoff appearances across the past 5 seasons and is currently, he's got 4 wins to his career. 1 coming in first season, he got another in season 3, and then he had 2 in season 4. Coming into this season, also sitting second in the points behind Corbin, we could see something coming up from him shortly, especially with Nashville. He got the Pedigree Pole Award.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting race.
Yeah, and if we open up the discussions about MBM, this was definitely a steal for them. If you remember, first 4 seasons, they really struggled. They had Bradley Keller for the first 2, I believe, and then they switched from a couple drivers, and they didn't win any races, no playoff appearances, and then last season they signed Evan Addison. Evan Addison got a win for them, their first win in NORA for them as a team, and then next season they got a big signing, and they get a huge opportunity with the new manufacturer Mercedes. So MBM has really turned it around right now. We're looking at the first 2 races.
And just to add on to the Evan Addison point, that was also his first career win.
Yeah, first season in the Cup Series too.
Yep.
What do you guys think? What are our early predictions for Jordan Powell coming up for the rest of the season? Fortunately, John left. But I predict him to be a solid playoff contender. I can't say he's a championship contender yet. I cannot say that. I definitely see him winning maybe a race or 2 this season, but being that guy that's always in the top 10, especially at these tracks that he loves. He loves the speedway tracks. He loves the short tracks. We've seen it from him before. He is going to be, I think, a definite playoff contender here after what we've seen in the first 2 races. But we don't know yet. We don't know. Maybe it's just the first 2 races. He was just good, and he may fall off. Because those are 2 wild card races. Yas Marino.
Another thing to remember, though, we have more road courses this season than we've had in quite some time. And his first road course start this season, he has a 2nd place finish.
Yeah.
Will we see more?
What do you guys think, Griffin and John? What do you guys think about Jordan? Any predictions?
He's been one of the best drivers in the league, arguably ever. And I don't see how that could end up stopping. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, unfortunately, John is having some technical issues, so let's move on to the next one. We're going to move on to the big name struggles. So, let's go look at these points as one big name that's already struggling is the Season 3 champion of Shiny Cord. Obviously, this is his final season. His final season in the Cup Series as he announced retirement at the preseason. Well, not preseason, but during the off season. He said he was only going to do one more season. And obviously, he's announced retirement. And so far, things are not looking good on his retirement season, as I believe he's outside the top 30 in points. And again, he is a pretty big name in this series. He did win the Season 3 championship. He made the playoffs last year, the season before that one. Shiny Quid's definitely been a driver that's moved up through the ranks. And other drivers like Ethan Shapiro, he tied the record for the most wins last season, but yet he sits outside the outside the top 20 in points. Let's see another one. We have I'm pretty blind.
Actually, there is one that I would like to point out, sitting 27th in points at the moment. 23 Jordan Fixon. Second equals Gosland on the all-time win list, and yet he is way down towards the back.
That is true, actually. That's very true. Jordan's always been a big name in this series because of his first season was just incredible. 4 wins in the playoffs, but he didn't even win the championship, and he did not make the playoffs that season. Yeah, that's a pretty big name.
And then next season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with that was 5 wins in a single season. That is first equal with Ethan Shapiro's Season 5 campaign.
And remember, it took Ethan 30 races to do that, and it only took Jordan 17.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy stat, if you ask me. Another one is definitely 2 big drivers, Tyler Commander and Griffin Lynn, in their new Mercedes cars, have both been struggling out of team expectations. We saw at Daytona, they were, I believe, the 2 lap cars that blocked the field on the final laps of the race. And then we had at Yas Marina, they got kind of bailed out. They didn't really have that much pace. And they ended up both getting, I believe, a top 10, but, not a great start for them. And those are 2 drivers we expect to be on the high note of things. And Kingston Hill, even though he's sitting about 15th in the points, I do expect a little bit more to Kingston, especially after I believe, how many wins did he have last season? 3 or 2? I expect a little higher than that, but it's only the first 2 races, and we've seen Kingston.
Yeah, that was 2 wins.
I remember
in Season 5. First at Chicagoland, and then again at Michigan just before the playoffs.
Yeah. Another big name is definitely Josh Crash. Josh Crash sits currently 25th in the points. He's sitting 25th in the points. Again, he is the Season 4 champion. And, no, not season. Yeah, Season 4. Season 4 champion. He made the playoffs last season, playoffs before that season. He's definitely been a definite solid driver. But I feel like with Josh Crash, we've seen a little bit of regression throughout this season, throughout his career. You have his high notes, but then you slowly are now getting to those low notes of his career. So, again, too early to decide. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And with last season, he was one of probably the top driver at SHR. To see him fall off so early on, it's just unheard of, really, for that 14 car.
Yeah, and that 14 car is pretty legendary. I'm pretty sure they've made the playoffs. That 14 car has been in the playoffs every season except Season 2, and has the most championships, being 2 championships. So, ooh. All right, so we'll move on to the Rookie of the Year fight. At the moment, Marquez Corbin's killing the bag right now with 2, obviously, points lead, 2 top 5s. He has just been on point. But then we also have someone that surprised me, but not really, because he's been kind of a sleeper in the Advanced Auto Parts series. He's been a sleeper next Shane White. He's sitting currently in the top 10 in points after the first 2 races.
Yeah,
That's
in
pretty
fact,
good.
he's sitting 5th in points.
Yeah, same for Joey Jarvis. Sitting 10th. He won the championship last season in the lower series. He's sitting 10th. He's fulfilling those expectations.
No, I've got him sitting 9th in points here, actually.
Yeah, 9th. Not bad.
Yeah. 9th equal with Nathan Orman on 58.
And also, can you repeat that?
My Wi-Fi's dying.
Yeah. But then there's also Michael Rossman. Remember, he ran some cup races at the end of his campaign last season. He ran like 3 or 4 cup races. He ran pretty bad. I mean, it wasn't the worst, but he definitely does not look like how he looks now. He sits, I believe, 14th in the points. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And he's got one of the highest max overalls in the league right now. So,
and not only that, could this be a passing of the torch from Crash to Rossman and Stuart Haas Racing?
Yeah, that's true. That's actually very true.
Another rookie, Caden Lynn?
Yeah.
Yes, he is, but he is down 30th in points right now.
Oh, shit.
I don't think, in my opinion,
but another rookie I would quickly like to point out, Michael Lounsbury in the 29 car, sitting 11th in points. He got 6th place. He was one of the first rookies of the season to get a top 10 alongside Marcus Corbin.
Yeah.
This could be a breakout season for half of our rookie class.
Yeah, that rookie class is very interesting. Very interesting rookie class. And we saw how good the rookie class was in Season 5. So,
oh, absolutely. With Kingston Hill getting wins, you had Zach Mayo getting wins.
Sketchy Rain, he also got wins. Anthony got a win.
Ethan Shapiro with 5.
Alex Tanker performed okay, but he just couldn't get over the victory lane.
Yeah, Alex Tanker was just pretty solid all around. He almost made the playoffs, too. He just got unlucky at the end there. And he was pretty solid all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you look at the Advanced Auto Parts series, how he's doing now. He 4th place at Daytona. So he is doing quite well.
And when he drove the L773 car, 66 car, I think it was, 173. One of those cars. In the Advanced Auto Parts series, he had 1 or 2 wins. And I remember he was leading at Road America on the last lap being got wrecked.
Sounds like something that would happen in Nora, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up the series.
Alright. But just to point out a couple pretty cool names is Nathaniel Smith. 12th in the points. Remember, he struggled in the lower series for 2 seasons in a row. I feel like he was really held back by AMS, the system, by kind of daddies cashing Tyler Authery, the owner of the Team 2B in Cup. And obviously, we've seen Tyler Authery really struggle in Cup. Even though he's had chances to win a couple races, he's obviously still not there. And Nathaniel was performing pretty well before he got booted off the Wood Brothers train. And, I feel like he was always a solid Cup driver, especially in that season that he left. He won a race that season, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure, but I know he does have, 2 career wins on his name. But coming back in 12th in the points, Chip Ganassi Racing looking pretty good already out of the gate.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. With 2 drivers from their team inside the top 15 in points, that is a very strong start for those Hondas.
Oh yeah, and they're also a new manufacturer too, so obviously you got to get used to the car and everything. So that takes a little bit of time, but they've been on the gas, and I hope they don't get out of it. Alright, so the next one we're gonna move on to the playoff fight. The playoff fight, David, you can explain because you know the points right now. I think it's pretty close.
Yeah, at the moment, you got Marcus Corbin, Jordan Powell sitting pretty at the top. You've got Zach Mayo with 2 top 10s in the first 2 races, a 3rd and a 10th. He's only 7 points back after these first 2 gone. So he's in with a really good shot this season. Shane White and Abram Gertz, both of the GPM cars, inside the top 10 in points. You got Joey Jara sitting on 9th, equal with Ormond in 58 points. Gullerud with his win at Yas Marina. Gosselin, the defending champion, is up there. We've got a huge amount of talent in this field looking in, actually. You got further back in the points, you got Lynn, Commander, and Reese all with a top 10 at Yas Marina. These road course races are going to be so important for these drivers.
Extremely.
Yeah, they would be very important. Yeah, it is so close. I'm at Ryan Benjamin's in by only how many points? Like 2?
Yeah, that is correct. Ryan Benjamin is only in by 2 points over John Reese right now. But then it's still early on in the season, so we can see a lot change.
Yeah.
All right.
I know it's kind of off topic, but I'm actually really impressed that the field made it.
Dude.
I'm surprised that the whole field made a turn last night in the first lap when they were all like 5 wide in turn 1. That was really impressive.
Oh yeah, that was probably crazy. That was a crazy start. I'm not gonna lie. It's what the track generates. If you watch the F1 races, oh god, the start is always crazy and stuff like that. So I'm expecting that tracks like Bahrain and other road courses, those starts are just gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and then you also got to remember this. We haven't gone to the Speedway yet, so we don't know how they're going to do on those tracks. You got Nashville coming up. You got the short track in North Wilkesboro. Then you got Richmond and Monza. We don't know how they're going to run at Monza yet. We haven't seen them run at that track.
Is that the road course or the oval?
That is the oval at Monza.
Okay.
Alright, move on to the MVD fight, most valuable driver, clear as day. I feel like it's too early to ever say anybody, but I'm gonna say, I guess Marcus Corbin, because he has really been good this season so far. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah. I'm going with Corbin as well.
Now, actually, funnily enough, I'm not going to go for Marcus Corbin as the most valuable driver at this point. Obviously, he is sitting top in points with 2 top 5s in the first 2 races. However, with the consistency going on, I feel like there are a few other drivers in contention for this, such as maybe Zach Mayo and Jordan Powell, both with top 10s in the first 2 races. Then you've also got further down in the points. If you look at the midway in the point standings, you have a few drivers who didn't do very well at Daytona, but did quite well at Yas Marina. So you have drivers like Tyler Commander, Griffin Lynn, John Reese. Then Lewis Garces had a top 5 at Yas Marina without a very good finish at Daytona. And he hasn't got a win yet to his name. So if he gets his first career win, this could be a very big deal for DEI, and potentially he could be in the title fight.
You obviously can't take out Drake. You can't take out Drake. He was championship champion last season. You can't take out Luke either because he made the Final 4 last season too. And this season he already has a win.
Yeah, both of those drivers already with wins. Gosselin is obviously getting Daytona. Luke Gullerud.
Sketchy was really good last
Marina.
If we don't remember, Sketchy, the only reason why he didn't make the playoffs last season is because of the huge crash that happened at Daytona, and he had to sit out for a couple races. He was deep in the points too. He was like almost top 10 in the points before that happened in his rookie season. So.
I think we should also bring out Michael Lounsbury because he wasn't expected to do this well yet, and he's sitting 11th in points.
Yeah, that's true. He could be I have him as maybe my dark horse MVD right now. I consider him right now, but give him a couple races and maybe he'll come up and get up to that highest level that he needs to be. One more question that I have. I did not put this in the thing for Cup, but for Cup, we need to discuss who needs to prove themselves this season. And I'm gonna bring out my list first. I feel like the drivers that need to prove themselves this season has to be Jordan Fixon, it has to be Tyler Curley, it has to be Jordan Strunk. It also has to be Shiny Cord, Tyler Stoner. Also needs to be Tyler Authery and Josh Crash. Those 7, I think, need to prove that they're good this season. Tyler, because this is his last year of this contract, he's really not done anything in his career. Same for Jordan Strunk. He's on a 1-year deal. And we've seen what SHR has done to drivers after one season. We've seen they'll give him the boot with no hesitation. Jordan Fixon sat here, first 3 seasons decent, and then he's just not done anything ever since. His second season, you can't even consider it because he was I believe outside the top 30 in points that season as well. Who else did I mention there? I mentioned Tyler Authery. Again, he's been here since day one. Hasn't even won a race yet. I believe he has 1 playoff appearance, but that's about it. Last season, I believe he finished almost out of the top 30 in points as well, and with one of the highest rated ratings overall. He definitely right now. This is not looking good for Tyler Authery at the moment. Another driver that I'll say needs to prove himself this season has to be Benjamin Alvarez. Benjamin obviously was a great driver in the Advanced Auto Parts Series. He was good there when on the second season. Third season, he was pretty... No, for second season, he had 1 season there, and he made the playoffs. He made it to the round of 8. I don't remember if he made the Final 4 or not, but he was a driver that moved up, and there was a lot of hype around him because he was very good. And in his first 2 seasons, have been disappointing. And with the team chemistry has already gone down. Because if we go back to Indianapolis, testing, which was not released, there was a big incident between him and his teammate Shiny Cord going into turn number 1. And I believe there was an incident between him and Shiny Cord going to Daytona as well, but I don't remember. I don't remember if there was or not. Or at Yas Marina either. But, yeah. Any drivers you guys think need to prove themselves this season before the off season?
No, not
Absolutely
really.
for me, but honestly, Oscar Aguirre is one that I'd look at for trying to prove a point. He has 4 top 5s to his career and no wins yet. Yeah, and he currently sits 24th in the points. What's going on?
And if you don't remember, he was here in season 1. Not a lot of people remember this, but he was here in season 1. He was here for the whole season in the 40 car, and then missed out until season 4 where he came back, and he came back in the lower series, drove 1 season there, and then got offered an ECR. And had a pretty decent season, overall decent season for his first season there with the 92 team. This season, again, you have to show improvement because ECR kind of needs it.
Yeah, absolutely, especially because all 4 of their cars are outside of the top 20 in points right now. The fastest car, actually the highest in points right now, is Bradley Keller, who's 21st in points with 45. Then you got Shapiro and Aguirre both also on 45, and then Alasaki on 34.
Yeah, it's gonna be a definite fight and dogfight for those points at the end of the day. Let's move on to the Xfinity topics right here. Hold on, let me whip out my Discord. All right, so we got Wade and Bill's success. Obviously, after the first 2 races, we don't really have any other results, so I couldn't really just say these people struggled yet. So Wade and Bill, obviously, Bill I believe finished 11th at Daytona and then got a top 5 at Phoenix. Wade got a 1st and a 3rd. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Bill's thing.
Bill is making me think I don't have enough cars on I can't get any more cars on my Cup team. Oh crap! I gotta somehow find more space.
Yeah, and what we've seen from rookies, I feel like the thing is, at the end of the day, I feel like that this might be, no offense to any of the Xfinity Series drivers, but obviously it's a little too early. But in my prediction, I think this is going to be a down class than what we've seen before. Like we've seen like the season 4 class come out of nowhere, win like half of the races. We saw season 5 class already was great. Season 6 already looks good. So I feel like with this class, I feel like Beal and Zachary Wade are going to be the guys to go to Cup first, from what I've seen. Wade obviously made those Cup starts last season, and he did nothing but impress. Pocono, a solid 4th place. Nashville, he was pretty good in speed and having pace. He just, I believe, got involved in a couple incidents. And the other start, I don't really remember what happened, but again, he definitely impressed me with what those starts were.
Yeah.
And actually, another driver you have to look at for the Advanced Auto Parts Series right now, Jack Handles.
Oh yeah, Cup veteran too. I see him. He's another driver that definitely is one of the most consistent drivers we've seen in this league. Even though he has struggled in these last couple seasons, in his early couple years in his prime, he was definitely he was very similar to Jordan Powell, very similar, as into with the consistency, which is always there. Let's move on to DaCosta's struggles, and I think Connor made the wrong choice when he decided to go down to the Advanced Auto Parts Series. I feel like that he could have stayed in Cup and turned it around. We saw the potential in Season 4. He made the playoffs, won his first race. We saw the potential there. Season 5, maybe it was a bad team. There was a lot of stuff going behind the scenes.
Yeah, one of the things actually for his Season 5 campaign, he struggled a lot of the season, but towards the end he picked it back up. And that's the time when Crash called it quits on him.
Yeah. And then, obviously he decided to leave at the end of the season, so that opened the door up for Michael Rosman. But, again, I feel like this season he's going to have a lot of expectations for himself, especially, and I have a lot of expectations for him because, when you choose that route to go down to Xfinity and you start to struggle in that series, your chances of going up to Cup, unless you have a breakout season, very low. We've seen it before.
As a team owner, up there. As a team owner of his car, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I own Beal's car also.
Yeah. And one other thing with DaCosta, he did have offers for Cup rides.
Yeah.
Yeah, multiple.
Yeah.
One of them being, I believe it was Stewart-Haas Racing was. Oh wait, no, not Stewart-Haas Racing. It was Stewart-Haas Racing. Joe Gibbs Racing was one of them. He had Wood Brothers offered him. I believe. I don't know if you offered him, David. Southern Cross Racing.
Yeah, actually, Southern Cross Racing did also offer for the 25 car. That ride ended up going to Dustin Davis, another ex-Stewart-Haas driver.
Yeah, so it was definitely there. The offers were there. I just don't know why he felt like it was necessary to go down there. I feel like, again, it's just going to kill your value as a driver. But, again, still early in the season, so we'll see. If he can at least make the play, I expect minimum playoffs from DaCosta this season.
Yeah. I think he was trying to look at the big picture because he's on the development team for the previous team champions of the Cup Series, and I think he's just trying to think of the big picture there.
And we also have to consider the rivalry that he has with Drake Gosland. Because if we look at Logan and Harley, remember, DaCosta and Drake were like rivals in season 4 when they I don't remember what season did they come in. Season 4, I'm pretty sure they both came in. They literally even had a crash at Michigan where they both wrecked each other. It was a pretty great rivalry to watch all season long. But again, Drake has a championship, a Rookie of the Year, an MVD, and DaCosta's out of the Cup Series in less than 3 seasons. So
I was a teammate to them when they crashed each other, so it was definitely interesting to be the teammate.
Yeah, very interesting. And yeah, again, so it's pretty clear who won the rivalry already between the two. Maybe DaCosta will somehow win like 3 races, come back, make the playoffs, come back to the Cup Series somehow, some way. Because I definitely enjoyed him up here. He was a very cool dude all season long.
I'll try to get some cars open on team that I can have partnership in. I don't know yet. I'm trying to figure it out. I'll be able to deal with too. So
now I am not that familiar with the Xfinity Series, but with the Rookie of the Year fight, Dave, do you know anything about that?
I don't know a whole lot really at the moment, but then remember, it is early. We don't know a whole lot of who's going to be quickest. I do have a prediction, though, that Joe Gibbs Racing's Advanced Auto Parts Series development is not going to be up to standard.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's been a very
Beal.
confusing thing. Yeah, Beal. Actually, yeah, I think Beal can win the Rookie of the Year because Zachary Wade isn't a rookie this season as he was full-time last season in the Xfinity Series. So if Beal keeps up being that second-hand man in the Xfinity Series, I definitely see him win this Rookie of the Year pretty easily.
Or maybe in the championship if he's lucky.
Yeah. Let's just move on to the playoff fight. David, I don't know if you have the points for Xfinity. I don't think you do because we already know the
yeah, with the
made.
Phoenix points, that there was an error in that where we didn't actually get the full results, so we can't actually show any of the points from Phoenix.
Yeah, the MVD fight, obviously. I'm not going to predict Zachary Wade to be the most valuable driver in the Advanced Auto Parts Series. I don't really see him. I see him being definitely a top 5 candidate, but not really getting so far yet.
I do feel like it could be Beal.
Yeah, I do feel like Beal, and I feel like that's another rivalry slowly building up at the moment between those two. If they keep up being this close every race.
Yeah, and actually, there is one rookie that I would like to point out. Grace Cradell out of Mike Harmon Racing in the 47 car.
Oh, yeah. He had a pretty great finish at Phoenix from what I saw.
Yeah, second at Phoenix, and it was a 16th place at Daytona.
Yeah, that's definitely not something to be sad about.
Yeah. I'm thinking about this. Beal probably second or third in points, maybe. Not maybe. And APS. Think about where Ken Lemus was last year. Or Lemus, yeah.
Yeah.
16th overall.
Yeah. And then we also have guys and then we also have guys from Cup that are there, like Rowdy TJ. I know that he struggled last season, but he was early in the season, like he was a playoff contender, a legit playoff contender. He just fell off as the team kind of broke apart. He fell off too. And then we also have Stephen Palolo, who's sitting there, and I believe he's tied for the most wins in Cup right now. I'm pretty sure he's tied at the moment. I'm not sure.
And DaCosta.
Yeah. You have DaCosta in there. Jonathan Osborne's been there for multiple seasons. You also have Tyler Freeman, who was also a Cup driver as well. He made the playoffs in season 2. And yeah, it's a very interesting field, a very exciting field. But right now, I can't really see. The only person I see going to Cup is Wade and Beal at the moment. Besides that, no one else at the moment. I guess that's about it for today.
Yeah, maybe Tyler Freeman, if he can step back up to where he was in Cup in Season 2 with 2 wins.
He's definitely one of those drivers. If you give him a good car and he's got good speed, he'll definitely execute those races from what I've seen in Cup with him. Yeah.
Unless we can get, Caden to get a team in the Cup, Beal's going to stay down at APS.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then, so Stephen Paolo is currently first equal on the all-time Cup Series win list. So to have him down in the Advanced Auto Parts Series 32nd place at Daytona, not a very good start to the season. But then he comes back with a 6th place at Phoenix. We could
What's
see
off for him?
potential going for that one.
Yeah. But maybe he's going to try to break the record instead of tie it this time in Advanced Autoport Series.
Yeah. If he can get back to Cup for season 7, this could be a story being written right in front of us. Tied currently all-time 7 wins with Christian Roberts on the Cup Series win list. Get back to Cup, wins another, he's on top.
Yeah. We also got to consider the other contenders to break that record first. Ethan Shapiro is definitely one of them, even though he's struggling right now.
Yeah,
5
out of the
wins in first
current
season.
drivers, Fixon and Gozlan on 6. Then 1 back. Shapiro 2 back on 5. Powell, Strunk, and Cord all on 4.
I think Gozlan
So-
has the greatest chance of getting it this season.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, already with a win. He had 5 at the start of the season. He's up to 6 now. This could be big. Could he defend his title? Could he get 2 in a row? We haven't seen that before in this series.
Never. That'd be interesting. Yeah. In the trucks, we obviously had a very controversial finish. I don't even know what happened.
Oh, what in the world happened?
Yeah, Tyler Commander ended up winning that race, so that's pretty good momentum for him. Obviously, he struggled in these first 2 races. Well, he struggled at Daytona, bounced back with the great finish at Austin Marina, and with that truck win, I think that's going to give him a little bit more positivity entering Nashville and North Wilkesboro this week. So this is going to be a big week for Nora and just the Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and Truck Series all around. Well, I guess that wraps it up.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, that'll end the first week podcast this week. For anybody that watched us talk for an hour, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next week on the same time, Thursday. I mean, not Thursday, Tuesday.